Hello, beloved ones. How wonderful to be with you today. So, I have a few questions for you. One is to just take a moment to close your eyes and find out if you are carrying any burdens. So my question to you is, what burdens are you carrying right now at this point in your life? So take just a minute or two, pause the video and just feel into that. And then the second question I want to ask you is, are you ready to set down those burdens? Are you ready to move beyond those burdens? Are you ready to let go of those burdens? So pause the video and take another few minutes to just feel that out. Now, before you do, just know that the mind, of course, will always, the thought, the wishful thinking, yes, I want to get rid of those burdens. They're burdens. I don't like carrying them. I want to grow. I want to evolve. I want to be fabulous, even though I already know that you are, beloved. It's just you who might not believe that you are fabulous. So try to feel out without your mind, but drop into your feeling body and ask the question there, am I ready to let go of some of those burdens? So what might have emerged from those questions is that yes, you have some burdens, and yes, you're sort of willing to let them go. So I want you to think about your burdens as these kind of balls of dense or heavy energy, all right? And part of what we're going to do in just a moment is unravel those balls of energy. Think of it as like a lot of your cords from your earbuds and your phone cord, and how you put them in your bag and take them out, and they're just a big snarl. You can't imagine how they got that tangled in such a short period of time. So we're going to unravel those balls of energy. And then you're going to decide how much of that energy you're willing to let go and how much of it you still need to hang on to. So the point of today is to lighten your burden. You might be ready to let go of something altogether, and that's fantastic. But this leads me to that which contributed to creating these burdens in the first place, and that is expectation. You all know what expectation is, but think about it as a sort of spectrum, all right? So at the low end of expectation, there are some healthy expectations, right? So when you're in a friendship, you expect, for the most part, you leave a margin of error for mistakes and problems that rise in any relationship. But in a friendship, for the most part, you expect to be treated with kindness, with love, with honor, with respect, all these things. And you know that sometimes when a friend can't rise to that, then you talk about it, you forgive, you move on. But you also know that when someone who you thought was a friend is consistently not giving you those things, there is not that reciprocity in the relationship, then you start to decide that maybe this isn't the kind of friendship I want to have moving forward, right? But there's a general sort of healthy expectation. You expect that the sun will rise and the sun will set, the earth will continue to rotate each day and then around the sun each year. So all these things, there's a kind of healthy, normal, balanced kind of expectation. But then you start creeping into the middle of that spectrum. And the expectations tend to be towards people in your life, maybe your family, or those same friends, your significant other, your children. But you start to create these beliefs that they should be able to do X, Y, or Z, right? Even though they've never really been able to do that before. It's just not who they are, it doesn't reflect their beliefs, or maybe they are just incapable of offering you what you believe you need from them. And so there's these relationship expectations that get created, and the worst of them happen within yourself. You have expectations towards yourself that are not very healthy. They tend to be somewhat punitive, right? And then on the very other end of the spectrum, where you are completely out of balance, people can get into these phases in their lives where they just have these enormous expectations that no one could possibly fulfill. And that I call fantasy expectations, right? Where it's just so big that it is used as a way to keep you small. Everyone does it at some point in their lives. Some people use it a lot because they are terrified of stepping into their own power, of even knowing who they really are. They are afraid of loving, of being loved. So there's all kinds of big, big fears that play into that extreme end of the expectations. Most people are sort of, depending on the expectation and whom it's directed towards or what it's directed towards, it's going to fall somewhere on that spectrum. And these expectations add enormously to your burdens. In some cases, they are at the core of the burden. Now, there are other things, of course, right? You may be burdened with a terrible loss and you are still in mourning. And while that can feel like a burden, I consider that more a natural part of life burden and something that all people must experience at some time in their lives, and that it's all right, that loss is real. Mourning for a loss is very real. But when it comes to expectations, the vast majority of them are made up. They are created by thoughts that get hooked into old feelings, right? Expectations tend to be those things that you are looking for others to help you in such a way that you get to abdicate your responsibility of the transformation equation, right? So you may be believing that if you just got this person to give you the kind of love you want from them, that everything's going to be all right. That if your father could finally express love to you the way you want him to express it to you, everything's going to be all right. And this is just not true. These are the thoughts that, when they are combined with old feelings that dwell in the shadow, they create a story. And that story starts to saturate the very cells of your body. It can create an unhealthy yearning inside of you, that always something's missing, right? If you just had that, or for many of you, if you just had the kind of abundance you believe you could have or deserve, then everything would be all right. And again, it's not that money could not relieve burdens. Yes, of course it can, because there are some burdens that are created through lack. But ultimately, it is the energy within that creates these burdens. And there is always a story that goes into the creation of these burdens. And they start with a thought. And usually that thought is based somehow, some way, in you deciding that it's your fault, that you can't get the love that you need from the other person. You might think you blame them, and there might be some of that for sure, but always the child tends to believe that it's a shortcoming on their part, that they're not doing something right, that somehow something in them is missing because they cannot get what they need from the adults around them. And that carries on through life. And that story builds and builds and builds. And that story can be used in just about every aspect of your life. And I'm asking you to surrender those burdens to me, to surrender that story to me. Because I promise you, beloved ones, once you let go of that one kind of origin story for your burdens, you will be amazed at how much lighter you feel. So when you go within and feel out your burdens, feel down, down, down into the origin story. Because it's the only thing that you can really work with, right? You cannot make someone be other than who they are. You cannot just sit and hope that abundance will come to you by abdicating your responsibility in the creation of that abundance, in the allowing of that abundance, the welcoming of that abundance, right? And it all starts with that story that somehow, some way, you were lacking. It's that story that I'm asking you to surrender to me. To change your perception of what lack even means. So we start with eyes closed, taking deep breaths within your body. And begin by feeling the weight of your burdens, literally feeling the weight of them within your body, within your mind, within your heart, within your soul. It's all right to acknowledge them, to be with them, to be in them. You won't make it worse, I promise. Awareness, clarity, acceptance are powerful, 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 and must be present for transformation to begin. So create an image or a feeling, a knowing that these burdens are tangles, snarls of energy, sort of balls of chaos. They are deliberately created that way to make them hard to unravel. Now just using your breath and your intention, focus your love for self and the light of your being into these balls of energy. Maybe it's just one big ball for you. Maybe it's little ones. However you see it or know it or feel it, just infuse them. And the breath is the calming energy, like slow moving water just flowing through. Keeping yourself grounded and centered within the moment. And your intention is your declaration of power, of presence. It is you saying to yourself, there is no lack here. There is only transformation, from shadow to light, from chaos to love. And it almost doesn't matter what got us here. What matters is that we are here now, you and I, beloved ones, pouring love and the light of being into your burdens. I'm with you to strengthen your love, to strengthen your light as you pour it into your burdens. And with each moment, with each breath, feel this tangle, this heaviness within begin to unravel, to unwind, to lighten, to make room for transformation, for clarity, for courage, for movement. Take a deep breath and let go. And on the next deep breath, surrender your burden to me. Imagine you are breathing it out into my hands to hold, to transform for you. And when you breathe in again, breathe in my grace. Deep breath and surrender. And again. And one more time, breathe me in. And let go of your burden. Now just feel there's even just a little bit of change. Wonderful. Open your eyes and know that you can do this for anything at any time, for as long or as short as you wish. The more you do it, the more your burdens will unravel, the more light and love they will receive, the more they will transform. And I'll be there with you every step of the way, loving you, supporting you, and bringing you to the next step in your transformation. Namaste. Hi, it's Danielle, creator and founder of Beloved Publications, your home of Mother Mary's teachings as they're channeled through me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you're interested in more of Mother's teachings, please visit our website, www.belovedpublications.com. And there you'll find lots of great ways of connecting with Mother. And if you want to join our community, you get an awesome free mini course on preparing for and connecting with your spirit guides. You will love it. So I hope to see you there soon. Thanks so much.